Not the first time these little felt communists have tried to infect the minds of our youngest and most vulnerable children. A decade ago, way back in 2011, I called out Kermit, that cute little green monster commie.
Donald Trump, who's this big, strong, amazing guy, he might be the most unique person I've ever had the privilege to deal with.
Fox News employees are allowed to use bathrooms that align with their gender identity inside the building.
The cereal brand has come out with a woke cereal. Yes, a woke cereal. This new cereal called Together with Pride features all the Kellogg cereal characters like Tony the Tiger and Toucan Sam on the box to promote Pride Month. Kellogg's a little late to this woke game, by the way. General Mills has I think General Mills has a gay leprechaun, right? Well, my producer Carly asked me, is that leprechaun really gay? I said, I don't know, maybe. He wears high-heeled shoes, prances around in tights, leads me to believe probably that little Lucky Charm leprechaun might be gay. But here's the thing. For those of you that want to vilify me for those comments, right there, aren't you just as offended by the flamboyant rainbow hearts and glitter as a symbol of gayness? See, there are two standards here. Nothing like forcing our kids to be confused about their gender first thing in the morning with their breakfast. All right, the moral of the story here is switch your kids to granola. It's healthier anyway. You cut the sugar, okay? And then you don't have to buy products from woke companies like Ben & Jerry's, Coke, and Kellogg's.
Their commentary, their take on the culture war, like it never changes. It's always been the same. Like it's always like, oh my God, we're so offended by these people, these groups of people we don't understand. And what about the children? It's amazing to me that people are still like into these views. Like, who cares?
According to the Daily Signal, Fox News employees are allowed to use bathrooms that align with their gender identity inside the building rather than their biological sex. And they must be addressed by their preferred name and pronouns in the workplace.
They did this whole giant segment, and now everybody online among the right wing are doing this. Like, can you believe they're following the law? Yep. This is just outrageous. So according to California and New York law, you have to respect people, even if they're LGBTQ.
How dare they?
It's absurd. I watched that whole segment. It was unbelievable. They were like, "Whoa, this is just ridiculous. Now we have to treat them like everyone else and treat them as equals." Look at poor Fox News.
Donald Trump, who's this big, strong, amazing guy, he might be the most unique person I've ever had the privilege to deal with because he's strong, he's got broad shoulders, but there's a lot of people behind him who are more brittle.
This is not the time for Slippity Schlap to talk about other dudes' shoulders.
Help himself, Cenk.
He can't. He just
those big, beautiful shoulders.
I've never thought about Donald Trump's shoulders in my life. It's never even occurred to me, right? But he's like, I mean, with those broad shoulders.
So he made that comment while appearing on Newsmax, and he's been kind of like relegated to that network because Fox won't have him on.
But I remember when I was a little kid, we were poor, we were dead broke, in fact, and my parents would see someone wealthy driving by and be like, see that guy? He started a business, he worked hard, you can be like that someday. Not pointing the finger at Tex Rich Man and saying he's a bad guy. Well, here's what happened. The Muppets were blaming an oil baron for closing down the studio. That's cute, you little oppressive Muppets. They didn't even try to hide their disdain for success by naming the guy Tex Richman. But I took them to task. I didn't mean to say anything that offended you guys. I called them anti-capitalist because of the movie, and the rich oil guy was portrayed as bad. Just want to say, listen, Froggy, what's his name? Kermit, Miss Piggy, if you want to debate this anytime, I'm all for it. So let's bring it. Let's have maybe, I don't know, Donald Trump moderate a debate. What do you say, Kermit?
These dudes are so in tune with what the actual messaging needs to be to poor white people. Poor straight white people, poor whoever type of white person, like they understand why they got to keep centering these cultural issues so acutely, because again, then they'll start thinking, who's really to blame for my problems? Of course it's Big Bird, right? Of course it's some random show on Netflix. Obviously, it's not the most successful people in America who hoard all of our wealth and resources. I think this clip is this guy telling on himself, quite frankly.